you have made it so far. This unit is almost done, and we have covered a lot of content, right? We have talked about libraries, the history of libraries, different types of libraries, the information cycle, picking a topic, narrowing down a topic, and doing brainstorming, and background research. So sticking with my same example, I've selected my topic of violent video games. Then I did some keywording, and I narrowed down my focus into violent video games and either teenagers or children, and aggression. I did some background research using Guido reference that helped me identify some additional information or different ways that I could go about it. Now I'm ready to focus and design a really good research question that is going to drive my research. If we were working on a larger research project, perhaps a 10-page research essay or a 1-hour documentary or video production, then it is very important for you to design your research question so that it would address all of the aspects of your research and all of the requirements. For this class, we're not actually doing a research essay, or all that we are doing is just an annotated bibliography and a self-reflection essay. So it is not as critical for us to have a very detailed research question, but I do want to cover how to do one. And the very first thing is that you ask yourself, what is the meaning of this research? Why is it important? Review the content from the videos, the content from this page, read the chapters from our textbook. That will give you some guidance as to what is the research question, why is it important, and it's basically to help us define our topic. It's going to be the driving force of everything that we do, of all of the books that we read about it or the articles that we find on it. So, here are some questions that you could ask yourself to see whether you have a good research question, and this gives you some strategies. One thing that I have found to be helpful is to break down the process. So one of them would be, I am studying or I'm researching this particular topic, whatever it is. In my example is violent video games. Because I want to find an answer to the how or the why or the if. And the meaningful part of it is because I want my reader to do something, understand something, vote for this, to do this, to go to college, to get more sleep, to get help, etc. Right? What is the meaning of it? So in my example, I turned violent video games and children or teenagers and aggression. And I could turn it into, how is exposure to violent video games related to aggression in teenage boys? Is there a link between those two things? Or I could think of slightly different ways of going about it. And based on how my research question is designed, that would be the kinds of sources that I would try to locate. Another one would be, are children who play violent video games, are they more likely to act out in the classroom? Or why is it that children who play violent video games are more aggressive? Is that really the case? Another kind of research question that I could ask based on this, it would be, how is playing violent video games linked to getting in trouble in school, or committing crimes, or participating in gang violence? Is there even a link to that? So based on my research question, it would be my strategy on how to find the different sources or different databases that I would go into to try to pull that information from. So at this stage, we're not looking for these academic sources yet. Right now, we are just creating and designing a research question. So scroll down this particular page, and one practical way of helping students design a good question is to show them examples of bad questions and how they could be turned into better questions. So then you could apply this to your own question, to your own design. So go ahead, take some time, explore this content, and give it a try. Come up with a few of these questions.